Hello, everyone. Just start real quick. I'm trying to set up, so I have my live link going to my patrons and also to my Facebook business page. I hope everything just went automatically, but it really doesn't. Can you all hear me okay? Hello, everyone. Okay, let's see. Hopefully, I'm live and hopefully, you can hear me. If not, I think I'll be just talking to myself. Talking to myself. Oh, sorry about the camera shake. Trying a new camera angle and hopefully that works better. I don't know. We gotta try different things. So that's what I'm doing. Today's agenda is mugs, like always, and also a bunch of other stuff, like the title says. Um, Let me see. Okay. Uh, Hi Tanya, can you hear me well? I'm trying a different microphone. I think this is the laptop microphone, and I'm not quite sure whether it works just as well. If not, let me know. Um, yeah, that's on full volume. Apparently, it's mug season again, so that just never gets old. First mug always takes a little extra time to get all your tools together. But once all the tools are in place for your first mug, then everything goes pretty smooth. I'm assuming that your yes was for being able to hear me well. The messages, of course, are delayed. Don't know why, but they are. I'm very tempted to try something, but I don't know if I should. You can hear me well. Okay, good. All right. So next time, I also tried a new Wi-Fi extender at home. So I'm hoping that I won't get all those, you know, dropped videos or things like that happening. But we'll see. I don't know if most of this stuff just has a placebo effect. Oh, we have something, but not really. I don't know if this angle is better to what I'm doing. I'm just trying new things. Earlier, the camera used to face on this side, so hopefully you'll get a different angle view of what I'm doing, and maybe it's better than before. You get to see different things, maybe, and that maybe is a good thing. Hope you had a good Christmas, Tanya, and everyone else who's lurking and listening, and are looking forward to New Year's. I know it's been a while since I went live because it was a holiday season and I was more concerned with getting things to customers on time than making live videos of me struggling to do so. So most of the well, all of the pieces that I had promised that I would ship before the holidays did ship before the holidays. Um, One of them, the box was like completely crushed by the time it reached the recipient. Like, no amount of packing could have saved that kind of stuff. And I did send them a replacement as well. However, the replacement also has gotten lost. So they are the only ones who I'm feeling bad that they have to now wait. They're fine with waiting. It's just my guilt about, like, you know, they even place their order early enough. They should have gotten their gift on time. But first, it arrived in a crushed box, which I have no idea how that happened. Since I packed my stuff pretty well, this is the only breakage in the whole year. So, you know, with the amount of shit, that's not bad. But stuff happens, and I'm looking at the box and wondering that how did that happen? Well, I'm glad you had a good Christmas. We don't really have such celebrate Christmas. For us, almost every year it has been a matter of getting together with friends and hanging out. But nothing this year. No particularly social activity. And many a times we have uh, gone to visit my parents and my brother. They all live in Dallas, Texas. Uh, Plus, it's a little bit warmer than here during the winter, so it's not a bad time to visit. So usually what happens is I land up shipping my last dish Christmas order around like mid December and then I go. But not this year. It's always good to see me make mugs. Okay, then I'll just go live whenever I make mugs. I at some point I sometimes kind of think that it must be so boring for people to watch me make the same mug over and over again. But as long as you enjoy it. But then I do spin once in a while and do a whole lot of other stuff too. So today's title, uh, when I say mugs and stuff, um, these mugs are actually part of the ones which are ordered like in the first and second week of December, which I had clearly stated would not reach before Christmas. Um, so I'm hoping I will have them shipped uh, in the first week of January at least. So that's what I'm working on. But then along with that, uh, there were a bunch of other orders I need to fulfill, which stuff goes really quick for me if I just have to make one thing like mugs. Even if I have to make 50 mugs, it is faster to do 50 mugs rather than do 10 mugs, 10 yarn bowls, 10 jumbo mugs, 3 dishes. Like if I have to do multiple of different items and even the number of items is smaller, it takes me longer because the setup for each item is kind of iffy. So for this today's day is kind of mugs and stuff. I have like 3 yarn bowls to make. I have like I think 10 mugs, 10 jumbo mugs. I have like another 4 or 5 embroidery jumbo mugs. That's just a different pattern, so that's not a problem. What was one of the oh yes, and I have platters. I have like 6 platters to make. So eventually I'll get to it. But every time I think in my head, I just go in the studio and make everything. It never happens that way. And please don't judge my messy studio if you can see it in this particular view. It's the holiday season. I don't want to clean right now. How are you liking this camera? It has some pretty good focusing skills, I feel. Like, let's take this closer. See, it does a very quick instant focus, which I absolutely love. And the colors are actually pretty accurate, though you're kind of seeing everything gray right now. And I want to buy like more of this camera. I'm not quite sure about its microphone skills. Let me check one thing real quick. Let me try to see if I can switch the microphone to this one, and if you can tell me this is better or worse. Okay, can you hear me now? Is that good? Okay. I hope the sound is back now. It looks like it is back. There's a significant delay from when I think you are receiving my video because, or when I'm receiving your messages. So it feels like I've moved on to something else while I'm talking when I finally see your comment talking about the sound. So I'm sorry about that. You're probably thinking everything is, oh, I'm back. Okay, good. So what happened, Chris, was that I was trying the other microphone, which I thought would be better, but in fact, you actually don't hear anything, so it's clearly not better than what we have right now. Uh, I was probably asking you this when I was on the mute microphone, asking you which yarn ball you got, whether you got the round one or whether you got the oval shaped one. 'Cause I don't remember. I could look at my orders, but okay, you can hear me fine. That's good. My quilting buddy is sending me messages. Let me see what she's tempting me with. I don't want to start quilting. Well, I kind of do, but I I don't have time right now. I'm very tempted though. Oh yes, now I remember. Yes. You got it during the stitches at was it the Stitches at Home live event or was it the Knit and Escape? I think it was a Knit and Escape during which you purchased that yarn bowl. It was the only green yarn bowl I had. Now I remember you. Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry, the message window is so far away, I couldn't read this. So when I showed them at Webster's, oh yes, the store in Ashland, is it? Yeah, it's Ashland, Oregon, right? For some reason, I read Webster's, and I just, in my head, it registered as, you know, an online web event. So I was like, oh yes, there was an online web event. There were many this year. I did sell yarn bowls during them, so that's where my mind went directly. So thank you so much for your purchase, and thank you so much for the person who did purchase a green yarn bowl also during my live event. You might not be here live, but in case you're watching, I didn't forget you either. Yes, it was right after Stitches in California, and I was headed home. Yes, Ashland, I remember. So I really liked their store, and it was a really nice stop. Like after I, for the last 3 years, I think I've been doing that. Like I go to um, Stitches, finish that show, and on my way back, I drop by two stores. One of them is Webster's, and they usually pick up their wholesale order at that point. And then it really depends on the weather. I remember one year I had to skip, even though I had full intention of going there. But I also didn't have much inventory on hand, so they asked me just to ship it whenever I got a chance because it was a lot of snow all the way. And I was like, I don't want to take a chance taking an exit, driving in internal roads, and being stuck in the snow. So I said, I just skip this year because I think it was last year. And it was surprising because where you expect snow, like, Northern California, the, what is that pass? Some mountain pass. I'm forgetting the name now. But yeah, I missed that. So that area was actually clear where you do expect snow and you expect to chain up and all of that. But right after that, all the way till like southern Washington, it was like snow all the time. Excessive snow. Just ridiculous amount of snow. I actually reached Portland that night. Um, and then I stayed over there. I was like, I cannot drive all the way back home. And I live just south of Seattle, which was another 3 hours drive. And I was so exhausted during that late night drive with the snow and everything. So that year, I remember I skipped the stop at Webster's. Like, not gonna happen. So this year I did drop by, and next year there is no Stitches West, so I'm not driving there. Plus, my van currently is completely dead. The battery is dead. Siskiyou Pass. That's, thank you very much. or is it what's yeah, it's Siskiyou. And this year, well, this coming year, Stitches West is cancelled, so not going to California. So hence not stopping by Webster's. Yeah, there have been I think two years that out of the I think five years or so that I have been doing the show. 1 year actually, we got some significant snow at Siskiyou Pass, and 1 year we got significant snow in Washington actually. And the pass was clear, but just getting out of Washington, we had snow like a week before the show, because it was Madrona at that time, and there were actually vendors who couldn't even make it to the Madrona show. So that year was really bad. I remember setup day there was 9 inches of snow outside, and that's the condition in which we did Madrona that year. But by the time Madrona got done on Sunday, Monday is when I started for California, and it wasn't that bad. The roads were much better, but it was nerve wracking that, if it's so bad in Washington, what will the pass be like? So far, I, I don't think I chained up any. I did have chains with me, but oh, you're currently not working due to COVID. I'm sorry. Yeah, COVID has changed a lot of our lives. I haven't traveled and done a show forever. Um my van, which was my show van, which traveled to all the shows and everything, is in the driveway, and it's really like a big storage box right now because the battery is dead. I should at least revive the battery and drive it around occasionally, but it's just like I've not been going anywhere and it doesn't feel like the need to drive it, and it just sits there and the battery dies. So this year has been a very long stretch of no driving the van at all. So it didn't like it. I should get it on the go. It needs to move around. Shouldn't be serving as a storage box outside the house, which is also kind of nice because it really thing that it stores is basically stuff that I need for a show, which is my tables, my walls, all the display stuff, the racks and the hooks and everything that goes into doing a show. And it carries actually even boxes of pottery at time. And usually when a show ends, I will come home, empty it out, like see what pottery I have, and accordingly make more stuff, load up the van again, and go to the next show. But since the pandemic started, I just removed all my pottery boxes from there, and what I put in there is stuff that I don't think I'll need it till show start again. So a lot of that stuff has kind of been sitting in the van now. And again, it's all mostly display kind of stuff, which I don't need to keep in my garage. Things like the step stool, and I have step stools at home. But for shows, I just had one always kept in the van, so that just stays in the van. There's just a lot of stuff that goes like behind the scenes and doing these shows. And it's in during this pandemic time, since all shows were cancelled, there have been a bunch of virtual markets and stuff that have been going on, and I have done a few. It is actually pretty surprising as to how quick and easy it is to set up now. It's a little bit different because you have to figure out camera angles and all of that, but it's also kind of nice that you know that in your display you just have like that much of a window what people can see, so you can place your things accordingly, rather than at the show you kind of have to be more concerned about, well, if a person picks this up, they shouldn't knock something over, or if there are more than two people in my booth, then what happens, and there are all those kinds of things which are kind of concerned with, but not during one of these virtual events. You can just do your thing and just set up so everything is just looks everything has a good view. Alright, in this I have one more plain knit mug, and then I have some like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jumbo mugs, again knit mugs, and then I have some bowls and yarn bowls and all of that. That is the other stuff I was talking about that I need to work on. So I'm curious for people who are watching. Um, of course, there is this thing that 2020 has been the kind of year that it has been, but and everyone is looking forward to 2021, hoping that things are better, and we can all just hope for the best. But one thing which I don't know if people start talking about it now, or it's usually when the year starts, is New Year resolutions. I know it sounds like such a dumb thing to talk about, right? With the year that we have had, they're like, resolution, what's a resolution? So, let's just hope we make it to 2021 all safe and healthy. But still, I was wondering if people are even thinking about what their resolutions are going to be. Not that I thought of any. I never do. I do always think about losing weight, which never happens. So that's a popular one, I think, every year with many people. And you can almost tell with the increase in, commercials regarding fitness and commercials regarding gym memberships and all kinds of exercise equipment and all of that. So it's understandably the most popular resolution of every year. But I wonder if that will change in 2021. So if you feel like telling me what your resolution is, go right ahead. Not that you have to admit, and I'll hold you to it. These are the big jumbo mugs. As you can see, they are much taller. Can you see them much taller? You can barely reach the bottom of the mug. It's sealing it up. So I have to do it both ways. Okay. Thinking of something. You want to spin more, to bead more, to knit more, to sell yarn stash that I decide you don't want to use. And you're already doing the weight loss. All good things. That's good. What do you mean by bead more? Is it kind of like embroidery beading or something? Not that I want another craft to start up on, but curious. Hold on for just a second. I'm going to move my camera up, so there might be a few shapes. Let's see if I can do that. I'm trying to see. Wonder if this camera angle is better. This is the weight loss I'm talking about. Yeah, and this year I have put on more than I would have liked, but it's the pandemic year, right? I think this camera angle is better, at least for looking at what I'm doing. Right? We make beaded bracelets. Oh, that's lovely. I do have several focused yarns that I need to make, and actually I was hoping to make them before the end of the year. That might happen, might not happen. I don't know. I'll have to see. The few things I have still avoided this year, even though there have been several temptations for it, is I still need to do one more step on these mounts. Better camera angle for the larger mugs. Good. That's good to see. Now, all of these mugs are pre-order mugs. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Oh, you cannot. The camera slide. So you can see, and you can see the rest of the mess in the story. So, in order to remind the mugs to be round and not flat like they were when they started, I have to I round them up and kind of use this to make a very gentle curve on the top going out. This makes it a lot more comfortable for drinking. It's a very slight thing, but just that very slight curve on the top, on the lip out here, it just pushes it out just slightly, and that makes the mug a lot more pleasant to drink from. It's the tiny things. And it's the weirdest of tools I use. One of them is my Sesame Street cup. This is just the right size. And it works on the jumbo mugs as well as the small mugs and the medium mugs. And all of them. So, and then I use this funnel, which I think I got at a garage sale, or it was always in my garage, left by the previous homeowners. I don't know where it came from, but it helps me give that gentle curve. Back to the mugs. It's better camera angle for sure, I think, right? Now that I can see what you can see. Very important feel which to make sure that the mug stays intact. I have to, after I'm done making all these mugs, at least making the walls of these mugs, I need to prepare clay for the bottoms of these mugs and maybe work on the platters that I need to finish and also extrude the handles. I just feel like everything should be have been done yesterday. Such high expectations, right? These jumbo mugs, yeah, they are the 6 and 3/4 inch high ones that hold 20 ounces. That's right. I didn't remember the height, but yeah, these are definitely the 20-ounce mugs, which also you can see on my website. None of them are. I think maybe I have a gray mug in stock. I'm not sure. But the reason I'm making several of these is because these are all Christmas orders. But I'm glad these people were willing to wait. Well, they ordered like, the first or second week of December. I didn't have any in stock, so I think we will just have to wait. I'm glad they were fine with it. Well, they didn't say anything about it, but I hope they're fine with it. I think I will have maybe one or two extras in this. I always fire a few extras, because it's not necessary everything will turn out perfectly in the firing. I have two jumbo honey mugs in the honey glaze, which have just very slightest fault. Both of them are just slightly there, because of which I cannot sell them at full price, and at the same time selling them at a discount price doesn't feel like the right thing to do either, because then that kind of represents my work that, oh, it's flawed stuff. Like, well, it's nobody says that they got it at a discount or anything, but it just reflects that, oh, my work wasn't made well. Because there's stuff that happens in the kiln. It's sometimes it just doesn't want to do things the right way. And these faults are so minor that you wouldn't even know. Maybe I can pull those mugs out and show you what I'm talking about. And many times it takes me a while to figure out what's wrong with the mugs. But there's a reason why they went into the no good pile, the naughty pile. Let me get back for those. So, move the camera so you can just see the difference in size. Like, that's how much they shrink by. That's, after it's firing and everything. So there are two honey mugs I have here, which are not perfect. And this one, I don't know if this will even focus. It should focus. But on the inside there is like a small unlaced spot there, which I don't know if you can see on the camera clearly. But it's there. And this one, everything is good about it. But it got like a weird black spot on that very edge. Nothing wrong with them otherwise. Perfect honey mug, but no. Same, the kiln goddess. We call them the kisses from the kiln god, but sometimes you just go like, okay, I don't want the kiln goddess to kiss anything. I want everything to survive perfectly. So weird stuff happens. Usually every year in August, I do this sale with there are, I think, 8 or 10 of us other porters. There have been years where there were 14, 15 of us, or two, I think. But basically, a bunch of us local porters get together and we have um, a big sale. And in that, we land up selling a lot of our seconds. We basically place, we have all our good pots and everything in our display areas. We basically take over my friend's house and we all have a designated area where we display everything. And then in the backyard we just put out tables and we put all our seconds there and we highly discount them. And many of them are like perfectly fine, but maybe the glaze color is off, or like for me sometimes my buttons are not placed properly or something. So things like that happen, and then it's like something needs to be done. Hermoso trabajo. Okay, I think that's Spanish, but I don't understand. I can check on my phone really quick. I wish this thing would give me like a translation thing. I can sit and Google paste it right now. Oh, my friend Alana is live right now. But she was live. We'll have to check her video later. She was gonna play Yarn Chicken with her shawl. I don't know if any of you follow her. But during this pandemic, she did a really cool project, which was the Fantastic Shawl by Stephen West. However, uh, her entire shawl was based on The Wizard of Oz, and she spun several yarns for it, in the colorways and the texture, and like, there are tornadoes in some sections. There's a yellow brick road in the shawl, things like that. And so she spun a lot of yarn for it, but also she um, what else did she do? She spun yarn, and she used some commercial yarns as well. She did some art yarns as well. Translation is beautiful job. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Mary. But yeah, so today I think she was doing the very last section of a shawl, and she was playing yarn chicken because she had spun the yarn for the last section from this Angelina fiber. It's just Angelina, so it's all sparkly and crazy, but it's for the very bottom edge of the shawl. So she was going to do a live event to see whether she had spun enough yardage for that part, and excuse me, clay dust. So yeah, so I don't know if she managed to finish, if she had enough yarn to finish up the show. But knowing how well she plans her projects and everything, I'm sure she had enough. But I am curious to find out what happened. My phone keeps buzzing with stuff. Rounding them up, so gentle curve again. Very necessary ingredients. You've got to love Stephen West. Yes, it's been a pleasure watching you work and chat. Okay. I'm glad you had fun, Chris. Thank you so much for joining in. Hope you have a very pleasant new year. So these actually I'm gonna turn into bowls, and I will need these this very minute. Keep these aside. I need to just be done with all the mugs first. It's like when in the process of making mugs, I just want to do mugs because then it goes faster. It goes faster. It's the same tool to keep using, so there's less fumbling between tools I need for the bowls versus the tools that I need for the mugs and all of that. So let's just get the bowl, the mugs out of the way first. So these are again the jumbo mugs, but I don't know if you can see the texture of them from this far. Like these mugs are thin. A little bit too thin than what I would like, but it'll still be fun. Make a nice. For the jumbo mugs, that's the thing. Like, it's nice when it's a lighter mug too, because I can make a mug big just for the sake of size, but I feel it needs to be practical as well, not be too thick and heavy. But then when you go thin, it also shouldn't be so thin that it's prone to breakage. This is fine. I don't know if you can see the detail of these textures, but there you go. That's the lace pattern which goes on these mugs. And in the next few weeks, I'm going to start working on one of my newer patterns for 2021. And one way you can keep in touch and have first dibs on those pieces is by joining my Patreon. And what I take you behind the scenes of making newer work at the higher levels on of my Patreon. On the lower levels of the Patreons, you get things like discounts and things like that, and the lowest level, which is $3 or something like that, is basically to help me support making these live videos. So I really appreciate the people who have been very supportive during this pandemic. As we all know, I'm not doing the shows, so this is the only place I get to hang out with the customers. So these are the embroidery patterns that are going for the mugs again. Again, these are the jumbo size ones. It's today the 29th. And after doing these two knots, I need to make some of the round yarn bows, which I still need to trim and then work on that. And then I have the other handbell bows and the 6 platters. So I think after being done with these 2 months, I'm gonna go offline, take a break, and then come back and do the other things which was called stuff. Or maybe I'll do the yarn boards. I just kind of want to be done with the things. That's what it's like. How long have I been online? Hour and 15 minutes. The one thing going online has made me realize is how long it takes me to make things. Not that I didn't know before, but it gave an idea to other people as well. I love this pattern as well. And it looks really nice once it's glazed. Four numbers out there. So these are the round yarn balls and not the oval shaped ones. One thing I need to do is trim that up and then make the sides. So I'm just, these are the slabs which are already prepped up for making the yarn balls, but I need to trim them up. And shape the edges of it. And then they can be assembled into the yarn balls. And these are going to be the round yarn balls. Look who's here. Hi, Casper. Want to go in your bed? I'm not sure how to do it. Casper snuggled up in his bed. I'll get out of the way so you can see him. You know, I can't be totally out of the way. Yes, Evanita, keeping busy. I'm still trying to fulfill Christmas orders, actually. Well, these are people who ordered like the week before Christmas. A week or maybe like first and second week of December. So I was hoping to get them their stuff at least before the start of the new year, but that's not happening. It's just a lot of stuff that needs to get done. And for some reason, it just never gets completely done. Can you see Casper? Yes, Casper. So this needs to be. I'm making these yarn bowls, the round yarn bowls after a while. So to do a little bit thinking. My messages for some reason are on my video. I feel that there is a significant delay um, between the messages. Oh, Evanita, you have one of these round yarn bowls, right? Yes, give me a round one or an oval one. No, I'll give you a round one. So that's what I'm working on today. Yarn bowls. It's like jigsaw puzzle arranging, getting all the pieces to work together. Try to do it as round as I can right now, and then these yarn bowls I have to keep attending to them. I keep putting the round memory in them. If that makes sense. A little reminder for it to be nice and round, and gently move it on the board. Just there's a lot of fidgeting involved. You're trying to do something around. Yes. This is the. Oh no. Sorry about that. That makes it a little bit rounder. That's it. Keeps its round shape. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Have to keep attention as to which side of the slab that I score. For the longer pieces, I need to do it on the back side, and for the shorter pieces, I need to do it on the front side. That way, I can assemble them the way I want. Almost coming to the close of today's live session. Now, for the few people who are still watching or who just started watching, do you all prefer regular live events or random? I know it's a very weird question because if it's regular, then maybe it's at a time that never works for you. But I'm curious if that works out better for people, because then they just know that, well, this is a time and I'm going to be live. And I kind of don't want to. It's hard for me to have a very regular schedule as well because you know clay kind of has a mind of its own as to when it's ready and when it wants to do what, and if it's too wet or too dry, then I cannot work on it. But then those are the times that then I land up doing something else, like I will probably do some spinning or some knitting, whatever. But I'm thinking at least, if not the times to be regular, but at least to fix 2 days of the week, that sometime during these 2 days I will be going live. It could be in the mornings or it could be in the evenings or late at night, but just something I will be doing. You like the sporadic. And usually that's the way I work too. So, getting a very regular routine is kind of like a little bit stress inducing because it's like I'm always like conscious that oh, I have to go live now and stuff isn't ready or I don't know what to go live with. And if I start stressing about it, then it's not fun. Oh yeah, so that's kind of nice that yeah, if you kind of sign up for my notifications and stuff, so whenever you're online, you get those notifications, and that's kind of nice. And if you like get YouTube notifications and stuff, you should be getting a notification on my YouTube channel as well that I'm live. You're basically seeing the same video, but it's another place where you can see me and where it's a little bit easier to see all the previous videos as well because all of them are there. I know there's gonna be a point at which that they might start deleting the old videos because I could go live like this for hours together. I don't know how much of it. Oh, I messed this up, didn't I? No, I did. So I was supposed to score the back side of these, not the front. So let's see if we can fix that. Buttons are gonna come on this, but it cannot have the scratch marks on here. Those need to go. There, disappeared. These are some of the things I like about clay. Can't always do it, but many times it works just fine. So, the fourth yard will go in. Today the messages though are very delayed. I'll be talking about something, answering a particular question, and I would have moved on to something else like 5 minutes back after I'm actually getting your response. So fine, maybe it's like a 3-minute thing. So it's just weird today. I don't know why that's happening. Yeah, it is. Oh, so all the messages is clear. That's good. So that was the last yarn bowl I need to finish up now. It's like Casper's playing with his toys and his puzzles. Go around this one. Alright. That's the last one. Alright, I think I'm done for today. An hour 41 minutes, that's good enough to be working constantly in the studio. And I still have the big platters to make and to prep up the bottoms of the mugs and those yarn bowls. And somebody wanted a big utensil holder.